Hey, how are you? This is Souzaville. Wanted to show you the Jacks Are Better Mountain Bear Bridge Hammock, and I believe there's a Hennessy ASIM Expedition. Just give you a look at these hammocks. And the hammock stand that I made was built from 6x6 pressure treated 12 footers. 4 feet are in the ground with concrete around them, and then up on top it's a 4x4, and this has worked really well. We've got 2 hammocks pulling on it. We haven't had any issues at all, so let's take a closer look. Alright, so this is my rig. I'm kind of new at the hammock camping, so you'll have to bear with me, but this is what I came up with, and it works pretty well. This is the Jacks Are Better 11x10 tarp, so you can pitch it like a baker's hut. You can kind of close it in like a tent fixture. You can get this setup going like this. I use their self-tensioning lines, which work really well, and also B-slings that are here. Using a toggle that's right there, connecting the 1-inch tree hugger that Jack sells down to the whoopee sling, onto a Dutch beaner, and onto the bridge hammock. I wasn't very fond of the 1-inch webbing going from the hammock itself around the tree. I like this system a little better. It gives me more latitude for different situations, and it's a little quicker in my opinion, so I'm going with that. So I've got the Dutch beaner on the ridge line here, the one that Jack sells. This is, I believe it's their their Dutch fly ease clip. Really nice little invention. So the way I did it was I put that on a Prusix, and I'm using it a little differently than they do because I don't have a regular hammock in here, sling hammock. I've got the bridge hammock, so I'm kind of coming up with the Dutch clip, the Dutch beaner, coming up to the sling here with the toggle, and this has got the Dutch fly ease clip attached to a Prusix, and up to the Dutch clip that would go around your tree. Seems to work well. That's what I'm going to go with, and I'll give you a look at the bridge hammock inside. Here's a closer look at the tie outs. I added a Prusix knot to the self-tensioning lines, which gives me more variability in tying off. So I'm kind of cramped in quarters here in the backyard, so this is a shorter length, and all I've got to do is untie that and slide that Prusix up or down, and it's just really quick and convenient. So that's what I went with. The toggles that I'm using to connect the 1-inch webbing to the whoopee sling are just a piece of 1/4-inch aluminum rod that I had hanging around at home. Most guys are using the Easton aluminum tent poles. Didn't have anything hanging around, so I went with this, and it seems to be working fine. Alright, I purchased the Jack's pad, one of their foam pads. It's about $10 or so. Fits really conveniently in this area here, which it's used to augment your underquilt if necessary, or if it's not that cold, you can just use that by itself. Really nice feature, and it was really comfortable. I spent the last 2 nights in this. I used the Graham pillow that they have, and I just inverted one of my compression sacks, which has some fleece on the inside. Used that as my pillow. I had an REI Halo 40 out here, and extremely comfortable sleeping. I don't know what the temperature was last night. I'm gonna guess it got down into the 50s, and just very comfortable. You don't even need it, an underquilt at this point. Just the pad itself was fine. And what we did with the Hennessy was we used 2 descender rings on a beaner, and this rig it's very convenient. A little heavier than you could do without the knots, but really convenient. And Just a really easy setup. Everything's here. For a beginner, this is the way to go. Of course, there's a lot more involved with the whoopee slings and the with the bridge hammock and the adjustable ridge line and such. But of course, you have much more flexibility and latitude and where you're going to be and what you're going to do. But if you're just starting out, the Hennessy is a great option. I'm not too fond of the rear entry point here. If you're a smaller person, I think it works great, but for me, not too fond of it. But it does work well, and the fly fits very closely. So if you're in some really inclement weather, you're gonna have to kind of pitch it really tautly. It would be nice for them to give you something just a little bigger, but in moderate conditions, it'll be fine. Of course, I like that Cadillac right there. All right, Souzaville, peace. Hey, how's it going? You gotta check out this Ram pillow by Jacks Are Better. I don't even know if it registers on a scale, but it's incredible material. It's amazing. It's kind of a self-sealing fill point there. Very comfortable. I wrapped my compression sack, turned it inside out. It has a little fleece in it. I slid it right in there. What a great pillow. And as you can see, it's about as light as a balloon. And if you want to deflate it a little bit, just put the straw in, kind of compress it a little to where you'd like, pull it out. That's it. Amazing. If you lose the straw, you can still fill it. But if you don't have the straw, you're going to have to poke something in to adjust it, and you might damage it, so keep the straw close by. But you're going to love it. It's very light. Here's a better look at the bridge hammock. Getting ready to remove the fly. We've been out here for a couple of nights just experimenting with it before we go out in the field. And Jacks has great equipment. They put a lot of thought behind what they make, and it's very comfortable, easy to use, even for a newbie like myself. To these rods, but if someone that's kind of new to this wants to do a slight mod to their hammock, this is a great little mod. All you're going to do is cut off the 1-inch webbing at this ring, put the Dutch beaner on it, you put your whoopee sling on, get yourself a toggle, even if it's just a tree branch, insert it into the 1-inch webbing and loop the amp steel around it. Just very easy to use. In the middle of the night, you know, if you want to adjust your foot level or whatever, you're just going to pull up on the whoopee sling and you're done. So I wanted to put it out there. I know there's a lot of guys that do it, but this is how I'm doing it. If you use a self-tensioning knot on the guy lines, you're going to find that your range of usage is a little shorter. And if you add the Prusik knot, which is just a loop of rope, and you're going to loop it around the line a couple of times, you're just going to increase your range of motion. You slide that Prusik up and down, could be 4 or 5 feet, and you'll be able to put your tent stake, you know, around rocks or shorten it up if the campsite's kind of small. So that's what I've come up with, and I think it's working well right now. All right, peace.